Try to get out of the camera view, but hey, all out there, Backwoods Samurai coming at you live with a video. Today, I'm going to show you how to wear and draw your sword. Now, there's not a lot of videos out there on explaining how to wear your sword or how to draw a katana. So this is going to be one of the first, I'm imagining. Now, when wearing your sword, a lot of people think you should wear your sword like this, at your side. That might be true of medieval knights in Europe, where they have the big cross guard so it wouldn't jab them in the chest. But with a samurai's katana, you actually want the blade more diagonal on your hip. This is because when you turn to get into a drawing position, your blade is facing right at your opponent and you can basically cut and slash in one direct motion. If it was over here, I'm already facing my opponent, but if I turn, I have to get my sword goes out like that, and I have to bring it around in order to make the cut. Now, you just saw I did a few demo cuts. Samurai actually invented this technique of a draw and cut motion. There's an old saying, a samurai should always end a duel with one quick slash. This became known as the famous one slash draw kill of the samurai. Now I don't have enough room to show you that technique, via it involves fast drawing and fast reflexes, since I'm in my secret laundry room / filming room / dojo. If you're wondering why there's a light switch, it goes to the fan, but it don't work. Yeah, I need to replace that, but yeah. Now, how to wear your sword. Back to that topic. As I discussed, wrong way. Right way. Now in some like samurai videos you'll see a samurai sword. This is actually a straight more of a ninjato, but you get the basic idea. It's curved upwards. Kind of like a smiley face. Now in movies and actual historian fact, this was probably the way they held their sword in battle. Like this, so a quick draw and slash technique with the blade of the sword facing the ground. But if you turn the blade around, you carry it like a traditional samurai would. Like a samurai would traditionally carry his blade. Where you draw like this, where you would draw the sword like this. Oh, screwed up there. I think I'm doing that with wood, or that would have hurt like a son of a bitch. Where you draw the sword like this, you bring your left hand up, and once the tip of the sword got past your left elbow, you bring the sword up, bring it around, and cut. That's how a lot of samurai wore their swords, like this, with the blade facing up towards them. I don't like this kind of carry because of one specific thing. When you draw the sword, the edge is facing you. And if you don't do it right, you can end up cutting yourself or even killing yourself. If you hit under the armpit, there's a major blood artery there. You could kill yourself doing that. I prefer a carry like this, where the blade is facing down, and I can draw and slash upwards, instead of drawing and slashing downwards. Now, back to how you draw your katana. Now that I've explained how to wear your katana, I'm going to explain how to draw your katana. So we're going to go back to the way I don't like to carry it, but this is traditional. When a samurai would draw his sword, his hand would be like this. Because of this carry, I'm going to do it very slowly so you can see. Ooh! Nope, wait, I had it right. Silly samurai. Now, if you can see, the blade would be like this. His hand would be majorly open. Now, my hand is only open because this is actually a very long sword. But yeah, his hand would be opened like this. Which as he brought the sword around, he'd close his hand. And after the sword got over his left arm, he'd bring his left arm up to meet the sword and then slash at his opponent. I'm going to do that again. Watch. He'd draw his sword, clear the elbow, bring the left hand up, and slash. Again, I don't like this kind of carry because your hand is open too much. If your opponent, and not to mention you're extending it out here, so if your opponent is fast enough, he can get to your arm before you have a chance to fully draw your sword. Now, I believe most samurai didn't carry their swords like this, to tell you the truth. I believe they carry the sword facing the ground, to which they then turn the sword to the side, which is how I do this draw and slash technique. I do the draw and slash technique like this. I turn my blade to the side and draw. Notice that my hand is always closed. That means I have a firm grip on the blade at all times. And I can just simply draw and slash in one quick motion. Then I can bring my left hand back around. Then I can bring my right hand. Then I either have the choice of bringing my left hand up, and my right hand down to rejoin the blade, rise and slash. Or I can just turn my right arm around and use the sword that way. Then bring my left hand up to join with my right. But these kinds of fancy sword play and techniques and stuff, they were mostly used. Well, sorry, my tablet's screen brightness is conking out on me. But these kind of techniques were mostly used in one-on-one or, say, demonstrational fighting. They weren't used in like war zones. You're not going to have time to... Well, I guess if they could have been used in wartime, because you could literally just cut one opponent down and go back to fighting, but I believe they were used more in one-on-one duels or one-on-one confrontation, because I believe that the samurai had different techniques they'd use in battle versus one-on-one training in conflict. Like, I believe they would just quickly draw their sword and get into fighting. Or samurai who are on the front line, I believe they draw their sword on the run and then head into fighting like that. But yeah, quick wrap up, because this is actually a pretty long video. Wearing your sword. Wrong. Right. Traditional. Don't like. My personal opinion. Like. So, until next time, Backwoods Samurai tell all y'all, be crazy rednecks and be safe when using your weapons. I'm out. Peace. Stupid ant.